I look around and see a civilization that has become enormously powerful without becoming equally wise. We can communicate across the planet instantly, yet millions of people feel comfortably alone. We have access to more information than any civilization in history, yet nobody seems to know what to believe. We have machines capable of performing tasks that once seemed impossible, yet ordinary people increasingly wonder whether there will be even a place for them in the economy of the future. We produce extraordinary amounts of wealth, yet countless people live one emergency away from financial disaster. We have built cities filled with millions of people, yet people walk through those cities without knowing the names of their neighbors. Something has gone wrong. And when I say that, I am not simply talking about politics or economics. I am talking about the human spirit. The world still looks normal. That is what makes this period so strange. If the world were obviously ending, perhaps people would behave differently. If the sky suddenly turned black and alarms began sounding everywhere, there would be no confusion about what was happening. But that isn't what I see. I see people waking up in the morning. I see buses running. I see restaurants serving dinner. I see packages arriving at people's doors. I see people scrolling through videos, arguing about celebrities, buying clothes, complaining about work, making weekend plans, and wondering what they are going to eat tonight. Civilization continues performing its daily routine. And yet, underneath that routine, I sense enormous instability. It reminds me of standing inside an old building and noticing cracks appearing in the walls. The electricity still works. The water still runs. People still live inside it. But the cracks are there. One crack might not frighten me. 10 cracks would. And when cracks begin appearing everywhere at once, eventually I have to ask whether the foundation itself is moving. That is how the world feels to me now. I see exhaustion everywhere. I don't only see economic problems. I see exhausted people. People are tired of working, tired of worrying about money, tired of politics, tired of social media, tired of bad news, tired of pretending they are doing better than they actually are. Tired of trying to keep up with a society that never seems satisfying. Everything demands attention. Everything wants money. Everything wants a password. Everything wants a subscription. Everything wants an opinion. Everything wants us to move faster. And somewhere in this endless acceleration, Human beings seem to be losing the ability to simply exist. I think that matters. Civilizations aren't only held together by governments and banks. They are held together by millions of ordinary people believing that tomorrow is worth participating in. People have to believe that working matters, that raising children matters, that building something matters, that saving money matters, that following the rules matter. That sacrificing today might produce something better tomorrow. But what happens when people stop believing that? What happens when millions quietly decide that the future isn't going to be better? That is when something deeper begins breaking. We have lost our sense of permanence. There used to be things people assumed would still exist tomorrow. A career, a neighborhood, a local business, a community, a newspaper, a church, a factory, a family tradition. Maybe none of those things were perfect. Maybe many weren't. But they gave people a sense that the world had continuity. Today, everything feels temporary. Companies disappear. Jobs disappear. Technology becomes obsolete. Neighborhoods transform. Relationships dissolve. Institutions lose credibility. People move constantly. Businesses open and close. Entire industries can be transformed almost overnight. Nothing feels permanent anymore. We have become accustomed to instability.